Sector St. Pete, Sector St. Pete. This is FB60. We're on scene of the last location of the PIW. Current weather conditions are light to no chop and a 5-knot wind out of the southeast. We'll be determining set and drift for a sector search. Over. All right, so we dropped the ring buoy. We're doing a sector search. Current location goes as follows: 28 degrees, 02.1 north, 082 degrees, 50.4 west. Over. We got our marker drop. Now we're calculating for our set and drift. So we would wait the 3 minutes to determine our set and drift. Since we're just doing a simulation, we're just gonna wait a minute and we'll determine our set and drift from there. But this is just going off the boat's location right now to give us a initial direction to start our Victor Sierra. So when we get to that minute mark, you'll see here it'll give us our set and our drift, and we'll relay that to Sector St. Pete. All right, so we're gonna hit our position. Sector St. Pete, FB60. Initial set is 304 true and a drift at 0.4 knots. Over. All right, so now create our search pattern, and it's gonna give us our legs there. So we want to make sure we pass that ring buoy at, we can make it easy math and just do 300, 060, and then back on datum 080. That's what we're going to do, because we're going to make it easy math. All right, so I'm going to come up to about 6 knots. And when I get to the 6 knots, I don't want to touch my throttles again. So right now we're just positioning. We got our time marked when we first dropped datum. So at the end of all this, we can calculate our final set and drift. So we're coming around and we're gonna pass datum on the right-hand side. And when we pass it, we wanna be approximately at 300. So we're gonna pass datum and we're driving course 300. Like I said, I like to use my magnetic compass. There's a little bit of differential between the magnetic and the true, but in our situation, it's not gonna be a big amount. So we're gonna drive this course for approximately 1 minute. At 6 knots, I have my crew members checking my port and starboard side for the person in the water. We're using the speed of 6 knots at 1 minute because that gives us about a 200-yard search range per leg. so I'm at my 1 minute mark. I'm gonna now change my course from 300, and we're gonna do a 120-degree turn to the right, and then we're gonna steer course 060. And then we'll stay on this one for approximately 1 minute as well. So we're right there, we're about 060, and we'll hold this course for 1 minute. My next course to steer is going to be 120 degrees to the right, so it's going to be 180. And then once we make that turn, we should get eyes on datum, and then we're going to steer on datum. That's going to be our third leg. Your third, sixth, and ninth leg, you'll steer on datum. As you're doing this, as you complete some of your legs and some time has elapsed, you can always update Sector St. Pete, letting them know how many legs that you've completed, just so they get an idea of where you are in the search and when they can expect an updated set and drift. Alright, so we've been driving this course for about a minute. So now we're going to go ahead and make course for 180. We're going to turn this course, and once we turn to 180, we'll have eyes on datum, and then we'll just steer on datum.
Datum's directly off your bow.
Roger that. Datum off the bow. I got eyes on datum. Alright, so now we got eyes on datum. We're going to steer on datum, and then when we pass datum, we'll steer course 180. So this is our third leg. Once we pass datum, we'll be starting our fourth leg. Passing datum on our starboard side, and then we're going to steer course 180. Alright, so I'm on passing datum, and we're going to course 180. Alright, now we're on course 180. We'll hold this course for approximately 1 minute. This is our fourth leg. Alright, so we're coming up on the end of our fourth leg. Our next course will be 300. Turn into starboard, 300. Alright, so we're on course 300. We'll hold this for 1 minute. we know our next turn is going to be into datum because that'll be our 6th leg. So 3, 6, and 9, you're on datum. So I'll have a guy start getting eyes on datum. So when we make our turn, we'll be able to steer on datum. We'll be making the turn to 0, 6, 0. And then when we get eyes on datum, we'll steer on datum. Alright, we're going to go ahead and make our turn to 060 and then steering on datum. Okay, I got eyes on datum, so we're going to steer on datum. And this is our 6th leg of the search. Victor Sierras, you want to do a minimum of 9 legs. So you can see here, I never touched my speed, never touched any of my throttles this whole time. Even though it says it's at 5.6 knots, sometimes it says 5.9, sometimes it goes down to 3 when you're making your turns. But you don't want to touch the throttles, you just want to maintain that speed of about 6 knots. And that's going to help you calculate your set and drift. So now we made that pass on datum, and now we're steering course 060, and that is our 7th leg. Our next course will be course 180, and again we're going to be making that turn to starboard side. Alright, so about 1 minute has gone by. We're going to make course 180. So we're on course 180, and we'll maintain this for about 1 minute. This is our 8th leg, so we know once we get to leg 9, we're going to steer back on datum. So we want to have someone try to get an eye on datum. For nighttime, preferably, you want to have a strobe light attached to your ring buoy, so you'll be able to locate it. If not, you're not going to be able to really use your ring buoy for nighttime operations. All right, so coming up on 1 minute, we're going to turn to starboard to 300. And then when we get eyes on datum, we'll go ahead and we'll steer on datum. All right, I got eyes on datum at our 1 o'clock. So now we're going to steer on datum. All right, so this is our last and final leg for this search pattern. We're going to do the 9 legs. So as I come up and pass by data, what I want to do is drop a waypoint to show where the ring buoy has drifted to. And what that's going to help us do is calculate our final set and drift so we can have a better understanding of where the elements are taking objects in the water. So we're coming up on datum right now. I don't necessarily need to stop my datum, but I just want to make sure I drop that waypoint by datum. So, no, just leave it out there. So go ahead and we're going to drop that waypoint. Make sure you know what symbol it is. So we drop the waypoint there. Now I can come down and we need to zoom our map out and take a look here and see exactly where our drift is taking us. So we're going to use our scale from the initial search right here. I got really big fingers, so that's the issue here. So let's see. So we'll go, let's end our search pattern. Stop it, because it's not allowing me to use the scale since we're activated on that. Measure right there. Measure between points. So we're going to measure from here, from our point, all the way to where we dropped our point. So right there. So we stopped our time at about 10 minutes, and we see our bearing was 309. So our updated set is going to be, I would call it 310. And over the 10-minute period that we did this course, it drifted 0.36 nautical miles. So I use the app on my phone to figure out the actual distance that it drifted. But we have it right there for us. It tells us it drifted in 10 minutes, 0.36 nautical miles. So for us to calculate that, we just multiply that by 6, because 10 minutes times 6 would be an hour. So if we do that math, I don't know when you guys got your phone on you, you can just do that quick math. 0.36 times 6, and that will give you how fast it's traveling.
2.1.
So our new drift is 2.16 knots. So you can see the difference in that as we were going around. It's drifting a little bit faster, changing conditions. So, but that's all we got. Just wanted to run you guys through a Victor Sierra. Thank you.